win that game against a program as big as Penn State?
I mean, it was big. You know, I've grown up in Alabama, so, you know, we've always watched the goal line stand and stuff on the highlight before games and stuff. So, I mean, playing a big game like that was exciting, and, you know, we've been preparing for them, and it was good to get out there and play in a big atmosphere and beat a big-time team like that with a lot of history.
How much is it going to affect the team having Ingram and Marcel Darius back this week?
I mean, anytime you add two players like that back to a team, you know, it's obviously going to be nothing but improve. But, you know, they're both tremendous players, and, you know, it's going to definitely help us. But, you know, I think you could tell even in their absence we have guys who are willing to step up. So, but at the same time, I mean, at the caliber of play that they bring, you know, it's going to be a big step up.
You walked on right here. How difficult is that to walk on? And you're playing on a defense that's the number one defense in the country.
Yes, sir. I mean, it was difficult. It's a lot of sacrifice and a lot of work that, you know, you don't get. You know, it's not really expected of you. You have to kind of motivate yourself, and it has to be kind of something that you really want, because it's, you know, there's not much, you know, other stuff helping. You know, you kind of have to, you know, pick and find your own way around and kind of work your way in. So it's definitely a struggle. But
Coach Saban talked about having a soft spot in his heart for walk-ons, of being one himself, and he said, you know, he loves the fact that, you know, that you have to be selfless and you have to work really hard and you have to be willing to do anything or whatever it takes to contribute.
Right. I mean, that's definitely true. You know, my role for the first 2 years was scout team, which, you know, that was fine if that's what, you know, they needed me to do. If that's what they need me to do this week or any time for the rest of my career, you know, that's what I'll do. It's just whatever the team needs me to do, that's what I'm willing to do. So.
There were so many questions about that secondary heading in just a few weeks ago. Where do you think you guys stand? Do you think you're starting to solidify things a little bit back there?
I mean, I think the first 2 games were definitely big, you know, getting us some experience and stuff, and, you know, getting some guys some real game, you know, game time experience. That's definitely big for myself as well as Dre and Lester and, you know, the rest of the guys and D. And you know, it's been good, but, you know, we have a tough stretch coming up. You know, it's just 2 games in. We still have a lot to prove, and we got a long way to go. We have a lot of room for improvement.
How satisfying to get that interception and to really kind of make yourself feel part of that secondary?
Yeah, it felt good. I mean, you know, we all work. I mean, I wouldn't say it made me feel part of the secondary, because, you know, I've been working all summer and all year, you know, next to, you know, Mark and, you know, Robert and all the rest of the guys. But I mean, it feels good to be able to contribute, you know, in a big way like that.
This game seems like a good challenge for you guys to kind of grow up as a secondary before you really get hammered, like with Arkansas going on the road. Just talk about that.
Right. I mean, you know, it's our first road game, so it'll definitely be a new test for everybody, something that not a lot of us have had experience with. And at this point, I haven't really seen much of Duke. All I know is they put up about 50 points. So, I mean, I think that in itself shows we have our work cut out for us this week.
You got a lot of attention the first week on special teams. Like, you made a lot of plays on kickoffs. And it looked like that's something you really enjoy doing, is playing special teams.
Yes, I mean, special teams and, you know, that area is a lot of just want to. You know, you can kind of cut out a lot of athletic ability in some ways and just kind of get after it, basically. And I think that's a really fun part of the game. And I definitely enjoy special teams in that area.
Do co-eds believe you when you tell them you play defensive back?
A lot of times people probably think I'm just a trainer walking around, but, you know, it doesn't bother me. It's not a big deal.
Do you think it helped you, your path as a walk-on, that you played at Hoover and you played with a lot of, you know, high-caliber athletes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely helped in a lot of ways playing at a big school like that. I mean, as a matter of fact, this week, you know, Duke has a guy that I played with. You know, their starting center is Brian Morgan from Hoover that I know very well. So, you know, playing with guys like that definitely prepared me for, you know, the level of play that comes up at Alabama and the SEC and stuff. And not only that, but I mean, you know, we had a pretty in-depth defense at Hoover, so that was another thing that kind of helped come into Coach Saban's defense, which is obviously pretty deep.
I know you guys are usually oblivious to everything else that's going on around you in the stadium, but their stadium only seats 33,000 people. Is that going to seem weird going to a stadium that small and you guys used to playing in front of over 100,000?
I think a better word would just be different. I mean, it definitely will not be the same as Bryant-Denny, but that won't affect the way we play. You know, we're still going to be out to dominate our opponent just like every week, like Coach Saban says. So.